you're a beginner or not, the wall is always a good tool to help keep the form good in camel and keep you safe. And I have had a few students who have issues with their back and have found camel pose against the wall to be something they can do when normally they can't do it without the support of the wall. It just keeps everybody safe and keeps you aware of what's going on in your body. So you want to bring your mat up to the wall, come up onto your knees, and walk them up to the wall until they make contact. Make sure you set your knees hip-width distance apart. We set up the alignment here. Knees stay straight down from hips. Heels stay straight back from knees. You keep that pressure of the hips up against the wall. Start to think about lengthening that spine, getting tall. Bring the hands, fingers down to support you on the lower back. Gently pressing in for support. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Lift up out of the rib cage, get tall. Hold on to that before you start to bend and keep those hips pushing forward. The wall will help you. If you can look back enough to release the neck, you can, so there's no tension. If you feel strong in your camel and you want to bring the hands down, keep the toes curled under. Try the less advanced version first. Make sure you can keep the hips against the wall. If you can, when you're ready, point the toes. Don't go any further until you can keep the hips pressing against the wall. And even with the wall, when you're coming out, use the hands for support. Another way you can work toward your full camel pose is by using blocks. Until you're ready, when you feel like you're ready to bring the hands down from the lower back, but you're not ready to bring them all the way down to the heels, you can use your blocks for height. Remember, there's 3 different heights on the blocks. So come into your camel, and you can do this up against the wall. You find your alignment, set the blocks just outside the feet, right about where the hand would be if it was going to the heel. So you can still get that nice alignment and get the feeling of the pose. Start with the highest level. Make sure the blocks are about even. Check your alignment. Think about pressing those hips forward or press them against the wall if you're up against the wall. Start to lengthen the spine. Bring the hands to the lower back. Get that support. Inhale, lengthen. Hold on to the length. Start to back bend. When you're ready, bring the hands to the blocks. If you notice, it is not too far of a journey on that highest level, but I can still really get the feeling of the pose. And when you feel ready, you can adjust the blocks to come down lower and lower until eventually you're ready to come up on that heel. When you're ready to come off the wall and you want to try the pose yourself, think about the same alignment. Think about that feeling of always pushing the hips toward the wall even when the wall's not there. So you come up, you build your camel the same way. Knees are hip-width distance apart. Knees are straight down from hips. Heels are straight down from knees. Bring those hands, fingers down. Apply that pressure and support on the lower back. Think about already pushing those hips forward and keeping them there. Inhale, lengthen up out of the rib cage, lengthen the spine. Raise up, then think about your back bend. Keep the hands there as a beginner. Keep the support. When and if you feel ready to move on, you want to lower the hands, curl the toes under so the heels are higher, so that when you bring them down, it's less of a journey. Don't go down further than you can keep the alignment and keep pushing those hips forward. Once you feel more ready, you can point the toes if you can still keep your same form and alignment. Stay with your breath. When you come up and out, Think about getting support by the hands to the back as you come back out. And think of a pose to release what you did. I like to come into cat, like cat-cow, where you curve the spine, lift it up to the sky, drop the head and tailbone while you push the floor away from you. Hold here, release. If you feel like you're still having trouble with camel and all of these tips aren't helping you, it's possible either you're not prepping the body enough, opening the back enough before, or maybe the body isn't ready yet. So you can use some easier back bending poses to either prepare the body before you go into camel, or use these poses to start to open the back so that you can become ready for camel. The first one I recommend is Cobra Pose. You come down to the mat, lay on your belly, you point the toes, you bring your hands forward over your shoulders, hug elbows close to the body as you start, so it's easy to hug them in when you come up. Gaze is forward, inhale. As you exhale, press the hands in the mat. They hold the body up, then they pull the top body forward, so there's no compression in that lower back. Then you hug the elbows in. If you feel good here, maybe you can come up a little higher depending on what you feel on the back. This is a great prep. You can hold, you can do slow lowers and then come back up to kind of see where you are, gauge maybe each time you can come up. To rest, you can always come back down to the mat. A pose you can use after Cobra would be Locust Pose. You can bring the arms out to the sides of your mat, palms facing down, hands are about even with hips. The toes are still pointed. You bring the gaze forward, inhale. As you exhale, raise your chest like Cobra, raise your hands, raise your feet. Get your knees off the mat. You work toward getting thighs off the mat. But this is a wonderful strengthening pose and still a back bend. Still getting in that back, still checking in with the body, seeing where you are. You can do little lowers here to see where you are, see what you feel in the back. And of course, to rest, you lower all the way. After Locust Pose, if you feel good and you want more of a back bend, you can set up for Bow Pose. You have to be able to bend the leg at the knee and bring the feet off the mat. Hands reach for the outside of the feet or the outside of the ankles. You have to be able to take hold here to come into Bow Pose. As you're setting up, if you have knee issues, bring your knees out wider than your hips. If you don't have knee issues, you hug them in toward the center and you want to hold on to that hug throughout the pose. You'll already feel the chest and shoulders open here. Gaze is forward. Inhale. As you exhale, kick your feet into your hands. It will pull the chest back. Lift the knees off the mat. Work toward getting thighs off the mat. Hugging knees towards center. Breathe. Notice what you feel in the back. If you have to, come out. If you can hold, hold. If you notice, this is a great prep for camel because the shaping of the body is so similar. Hold as long as you're comfortable. When you're ready, release, come down. Rest for a moment. And then to begin immediately releasing the lower back, bend the legs at the knee like you did when you set up, then rock the legs from side to side like windshield wipers. It'll rock the hips. Start releasing the lower back. When you're done, or when you need a break, or to release, find a cat pose. Wrists down from shoulders, knees down from hips. Curve the spine, lift it to the sky, drop the head and tailbone, push the floor away from you. You can also use a seated forward fold to release the back after your back bends. Or you can always come into a spinal twist. To keep a spinal twist safe, you lay on the back, You bring the arms out to the sides like a T, palms facing down. You bring the knees in. Inhale. On the exhale, you slowly lower them to one side of the body. As you're lowering them, find some control, make it slow and easy. Make sure both shoulder blades stay on the mat. Knees relax over, slow and easy. Then you can bring your gaze right. You soften the body, let go of any tension, especially in the back. You soften lower back muscles. If you're too tight in the back and it pulls too much to bring those knees all the way over, you can always use a block or a pillow, something here to rest the knees on for support so that you can relax that back. Once you do one side, you bring the knees back to center. Inhale. Exhale, slowly lower them to the other side. Both shoulder blades stay on the mat. The sides are going to be different, so you might need a block for both sides or one side. You just got to feel it out. But this is a great way to realign the spine, rejuvenate the spine, and reset the back after your back bends. The light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste.